company.
Tonight on CTV3 News, El Salvador's Minister of Agriculture concludes a two-day visit to Belize. We'll tell you about his trip to various farms here in the north. Members of the Commission of Inquiry tasked to look into the modernization of the sugar industry yet to be identified. Sardineja fisherman charged for illegal conch fishing. And the DFC celebrates its 60th anniversary. These are some of the stories we have for you tonight in our newscast for Wednesday, September 27th, 2023.
LV, $50. Thank you. Wait, hey, this 50 is a fake.
Well, how do you know it's a fake?
What are you talking about, sir? How can I identify a genuine note from a fake note?
Well, a genuine 50 has a watermark with the jaguar and the written words of the 50, also a thread.
Know your money and know a fake one when you see it. Do not rely on any one security feature. Look for the clarity and quality of printing. The printed lines and colors should be sharp and clear. Feel the quality of the paper and the raised print. Hold the note up to the light to see the windowed security thread. It should form one complete line when held up to the light. The watermark and denominational electrotype. The Jaguar is the watermark in the $100 and $50 notes. The Sleeping Giant is the watermark in the $20, $10, $5, and $2 notes. The see-through feature. The parts of the design printed on the back should fit exactly within the unprinted areas of the front to form the complete design. Check the $100 note for the toucan hologram with the periwinkle flower overprint. Tilt it to see the small images of the toucan and the numeral 100. Check the $50 note for the green foil angelfish. Check even closer. Use an ultraviolet light to see the fluorescent features. Use a magnifier to see the microlettering. Tiny letters that read Central Bank of Belize and the value of the note. Stop the circulation of counterfeit Belize currency notes. Pass all counterfeits to the police at once. It is a criminal offense to hold or use a counterfeit. Be safe. Be sure. Know your money.
Movies are dreams. That you never forget.
The lights change how everything looks. It's hard to find our house.
Ours is the dark house with no lights.
In this family, it's the scientists versus the artists.
What kind of movie are we gonna make?
You stop making movies, it'll break your mother's heart. I don't know what to do anymore.
You do what your heart says you have to. What was your favorite part?
Good evening. With your news, also simulcast on Fiesta FM 106.7. I am Joanna Rodriguez. A two-day working visit by El Salvador's Minister of Agriculture, Oscar Enrique Guardado, here in Belize ended on Tuesday with a visit to various producers across the Orange Walk district. The minister's visit comes on the heels of a recent trip that Minister of Agriculture, Jose Abelardo May, made to El Salvador a few weeks ago. The purpose of that visit was to discuss the possibility of trading some of our agricultural goods with them. Following those discussions, moves are being done to allow for the two countries to sign a technical cooperation agreement that would enable technical teams from Belize and El Salvador to travel and learn from each other. Norma Ruiz has a synopsis of the tour here in the north.
Day 2 of the official visit kicked off with a tour of Aina Farms in Lemonal, followed by the Golden Produce Papaya Limited in Indian Creek. The tour finalized at Green Hills in Kakabish here in the Orange Walk district, where the team observed the process involved in preparing cattle for international trade.
There are two things, trade and there is technical cooperation. They know things that we don't know, and we know things that they do not know. So technical cooperation goes both ways. And also trade. Trade is reciprocal. We can export to them what we have in excess or what we can produce better than they, and then they can probably sell to us their finished product or processed product. That happens right now. They export to us their Diana chips and so on. We could export to them the corn, and they manufacture and then re-export to us. So there are many things that can be traded between these two countries.
Concrete outcomes from the minister's visit are expected in the coming weeks, according to Minister of Agriculture, Jose May.
What we will do right now is sit down and draft a memorandum of understanding and put time frames. We cannot keep going back and forth. We cannot allow bureaucracy to step in and to stop the flow of communication and action. Agriculture is action, it's a verb. It has to be done. We cannot sit in an office and expect it to be done. So we want to act on this right away. I think not more than 2 weeks we're supposed to have the draft ready and move ahead.
His visit to Belize, according to El Salvador's Minister of Agriculture, Oscar Enrique Guardado, has brought to light the many similarities between both countries in the area of productivity, opening the roadway for extended collaboration between the two.
Hemos constatado varias situaciones muy interesantes. El tema de la agricultura combinada con el turismo, por decirlo en algo, el agroturismo es fundamental para generar otra actividad económica dentro de la agricultura. Es importante ver que tienen bien afianzado, según la trayectoria que ha tenido el ministro May, para generar esta diversidad de cultivos, sobre todo la soya, para generar una agroindustria y tener la capacidad de garantizar el consumo interno de aceite de soya, así como también garantizan los elementos necesarios de la cadena productiva del ganado bovino. También vimos el emprendimiento de unos señores que se están dedicando al tema de los frutales, específicamente la papaya. Las potencialidades son similares. El Salvador tiene potenciales muy altos en una producción determinada de la agricultura, sobre todo el tema de la caña de azúcar y el cultivo del café. Es importante ver estos dos rubros en su dimensión completa porque potencian a El Salvador en los mercados internacionales. Hemos decidido como Ministerio de Agricultura y Ganadería diversificar la matriz agrícola para poder potenciar otros rubros que son necesarios en coordinación con los países del área. Y vemos que en algunas áreas el tema de la autosuficiencia de la producción de soya y otros derivados que conjugan así el alimento del ganado, es importante tener un socio estratégico como Belice.
As like-minded allies, Minister Guardado says there is much which can be shared between both countries to help achieve food security for both nations.
La integración profunda es base fundamental del desarrollo macroeconómico para la facilitación del comercio y otras razones que tenemos para hermanarnos como tal. Pero a su vez también tenemos un tema muy fundamental, que es la seguridad alimentaria y nutricional de nuestros pueblos. Nosotros estamos encadenados en ese orden de ideas para enlazarnos como gobiernos y aplicarlo de una sola vez por todas a las comunidades que más necesitan el apoyo gubernamental. El tema de la seguridad alimentaria y nutricional es fundamental en la agenda que llevamos en el CAC.
Reporting for CTV3 News, Norma Ruiz.
As mentioned, El Salvador is interested in sharing insights in research and crop production of various crops and in importing grains such as white corn and red kidney beans, while Belize has interest in exporting vegetables and fruits such as carrots, onions, pineapples, and citrus. But while Belize does not have the quantity of small red beans or even white corn that El Salvador needs, trade remains at the top of the agenda.
We do not have in quantities the red beans. They have right now the seed, but they want us to produce seed material for them and to do commercial production of these beans and white corn. They also have a special variety of white corn that they consume and that they want us to produce. As we speak right now, Minister Corten and his team are preparing for the partial scope agreement with El Salvador. So there are many things that need to be looked at in terms of trade. But we are hopeful. El Salvador is very serious. They are a net importing country of food and foodstuffs, and so they are seriously looking at Belize supplying some of their needs.
31-year-old Sarteneja resident Jose Luis Aguzabal had to go before the court in Belize City to answer to 2 charges. The first one for 1 count of possession of conch during the closed season, and the second was a count of obstruction. The 31-year-old appeared unrepresented in court and was fined thousands of dollars. Aguzabal was busted with 15 conchs outside of its season. The incident was registered around 7 p.m. on September 19th in Belize City. According to the fisheries officers, when they approached Aguzabal, he threw the conch into the river. Now, Aguzabal has to pay $1,000 plus $5 cost of court and has up until November 30th to make payment, or in default will be heading over to the central prison for 5 months jail time. This is for the 15 conchs he was found in possession of. Lastly, for the charge of obstruction, Aguzabal was fined a whopping $2,000 plus $5 cost of court and has until December 31st to make the payment, otherwise will face a year imprisonment. The Commission of Inquiry approved by Cabinet to look into the future modernization of the sugar cane industry was set to commence its work at the end of August. But that work is yet to commence, and when it does, the member of the Commission will even look at the financial aspects of the industry, says the Minister of Agriculture, Jose Mai.
An inquiry would include everything from the field up to the final destination of export, which will be the market destination. It will include everything. And we are hopeful, although hope is not a strategy, we are hopeful that this would reveal all the details that need to go into a commercial agreement or set the basis for a very good, sound, technical, updated and modern sugar industry act. There are many things that need to be ventilated, many things that need to be known, and everybody needs to know them. It's supposed to be transparent, and this will set the stage for any other industry in the future that comes along. So far, we have sugar, citrus, and bananas for the last 50 years as traditional exports. It's about time for us to look at other industries, other cash crops, right? And so this Commission of Inquiry will work for us, I believe, in my view, for sugar, but it sets the stage for any other industry in the future. Because for any business to succeed, it has to be transparent from all sides: farmers, millers, marketers, government, everybody. So this sets the stage for future industries.
Have the members already been identified?
Working on that. We have some, but we're still working on it, finalizing it.
As mentioned by the members of the commission are yet to be identified. Since taking office in November of 2020, the government of Belize, through the Ministry of Infrastructure, Development and Housing, has handed over hundreds of homes to deserving Belizeans across the country through its Pilot Homes project. Now, while many Belizeans have received new homes, hundreds more still struggle every day with not having a home of their own. With this in mind, Prime Minister John Busena says his government is looking at extending the project to provide home loans for eligible residents.
Just yesterday in Cabinet, Minister Espat was bringing up the issue that, they need more funding because the kind of funding that we do, we build good quality starter homes for people with their plans to be able to expand to 2 or 3 bedroom in the future, and yet the homeowner, in most instances, we try to target single mothers or people that are really poor for them to be able to own a home, and all they need to pay is $100 per month for 10 years. So in effect, they pay about $12,000, and the government also have to help to subsidize it. We want to do more of that, but we have to do it within our means. And so we have to look at what we have as for Capital 2 funding. And the discussion that we had yesterday is that we want to look at where we have been spending Capital 2 budgets for the past 2 years, 21, 22, and 23. And so in the new budget, then decide where we want to shift our monies. Where is it? Well, certainly if housing has to be one of them, well, then the pie is limited. So we have to make sure we take away from something to be able to put there. Or if we could access low-cost funding at, say, 2%, or the Korean government has a fund at Kabay, where we have finally been granted access. It's at 0.01% and to be paid over 20 years. If we can qualify for housing under that funding that they have available, then we want to borrow from that so that we can then speed up the housing program that we've been working on.
Coming up next, Healthy Life Caravan descends upon the village of Carmelita. Stay tuned.
Tell me something. You can go anywhere. Another timeline. Another universe. So why do you want to stay and fight to save this one?
Because this is the world where my mom lives. I'm not gonna lose her again. Time has a pattern that it can't help reliving. Different people, different worlds, drawn to each other like magnets. It's my face. You stole my face.
If you were to go into the past, you have no idea what the consequences can be.
Bruce, I could fix things.
You could also destroy everything.
This can't be happening. I completely broke the universe.
Zod, we've been waiting for you.
I created a world with no metahumans. And now there's no one to defend us.
Want some help?
Oh. You are?
Yeah. I'm Batman.
If I can't undo what I did, if I can't get back, there might not be a future. What's the play? Batman, what do we do?
We try not to die.
It's not Clark.
My name is Kara.
I'm
Well, we're Barry.
Barry, what are you doing? Our kids are going to want to see this.
Buenos días. 2 boletos para Picacas, por favor. Ida y vuelta.
54. Ese dinero es falso.
¿Falso?
Sí, este billete es falso.
¿Y por qué es falso?
Porque un verdadero billete de $50 tiene una marca de agua en la forma de un jaguar con la marca de agua y electrotipia de denominación y un hilo de seguridad.
Conozca su dinero. Reconozca el billete falso al verlo. No se confíe en solo una de las características de seguridad. Busque la claridad y calidad de la impresión. Las líneas y el color impresos deben ser nítidas y claras. Sienta la calidad del papel y de la impresión levantada. Ponga el billete a la luz y observe. El hilo de seguridad avantanillada debe formar una línea completa cuando se pone a la luz. La marca de agua y la electrotipia de denominación, el Jaguar, es la marca de agua en los billetes de $100 y $50. El gigante dormido es la marca de agua en los billetes de $20, $10, $5 y $2. El registro perfecto. Las partes del diseño impreso en la parte posterior deben caber exactamente dentro de las áreas sin imprimir en el frente del billete para formar el diseño completo. Revise los billetes de $100 para saber si está el holograma del tucán con la impresión sobrepuesta de la flor de vinca per vinca. Inclínelo para ver las imágenes pequeñas del tucán y el numeral 100. Revise los billetes de $50 para saber si está la imagen del pez ángel en color verde plateado. Mira más cerca. Utilice luz ultravioleta para ver los elementos fluorescentes. Utilice una lupa para ver las letras más pequeñas que leen Central Bank of Belize y el valor del billete. Detenga la circulación de los billetes beliceños falsos. Pasa todas las falsificaciones a la policía inmediatamente. Es una ofensa criminal guardar o utilizar falsificaciones. Esté a salvo, esté seguro, conozca su dinero.
The Development Finance Corporation is celebrating its 60th anniversary. Established in 1963, the DFC is the only development bank institution in our country offering Belizeans lending opportunities for development in areas of agriculture, housing, education, tourism, and even business. Celebrating 60 years of service, Chairman of the DFC, Henry Anderson, says the institution has been turning a new leaf to recharacterize the lending institution.
DFC, unfortunately, over the years, has gotten a stigma for several things, right? So when you say DFC, some people minds go to commissioner inquiry, we take too long, we ask for too much paperwork, or write off, right? You don't have to pay the DFC because it will be written off, which is the farthest thing from the truth. But when you look at what the DFC has done, as was shared in the presentation and by all of the comments, it's sobering because this institution has come from the times of self-government right through to independence, and it has done a lot to build the fabric of our economy. So it's humbling in that sense, but we can't dwell on the past. We are in the now and we have to get to the future. So it just serves as energy to look at, what was the highest peak that the DFC achieved, let's say in terms of portfolio growth, and understand that we need to continue to lay the foundation so DFC can once and for all become a proper development bank that offers all of the products that the development bank offers that it has never done in its history before, and that's what we're building now.
Moving forward, Anderson says the DFC will work on transitioning to a fully fledged development bank.
If you look, let's say, at development banks in Latin America, and let's go to Bank of Jamaica, they do what is called second-tier lending. And if the government wants to do an infrastructure project, they have the ability to mobilize capital and bring it into the development space. We don't do that. All right, we simply go and borrow from IDB or CDB, so we need to be able to change that. Public-private partnerships. So the government, there's a unit in the Prime Minister's office. In Jamaica, for example, that's in the Bank of Jamaica, and it has the technical expertise to build those things. Belize issued a blue bond. Maybe 10 years down the road when we want to issue something else, DFC will have the ability to be the one to underwrite that. We will definitely need support from other larger financial institutions. So for example, with the blue bond for Belize, because Belize's credit rating wasn't at the level we wanted it to be, the US DFC, right, the US has a DFC, they were the ones who put a guarantee in place, and that increased the risk rating, improved the risk rating of the bond to make it sellable, right? Other development banks in other countries are able to offer guarantees. So you have liquidity in the commercial sector. Well, one of the jobs of a development bank should be to see how you can take a portion of that liquidity and get it into the development space. Development of a country isn't for government alone, it's for government and the private sector. But the private sector will not be able to take the risk that DFC takes. The commercial banks are lending your money when you save. So, they have to be prudent and careful. Our job should be to collaborate with them to de-risk the projects by bringing guarantees in place to be able to do that. So those are more complex products that DFC cannot offer yet, because we need to build the competency to do it, and also we need to, while our capital adequacy ratio, we're at 60%, which is where we want to be, or the minimum is 40, so we have space to lend. But when we look to double the portfolio, it will require additional investments in the capital for DFC. So we don't want to get beyond ourselves. It's a process that you have to grow and do so in what not only sustainable, but we like to use the term resilient, because when we're investing in the projects we mentioned, we have to be paying attention to what's the effect of the climate. Are more droughts going to be happening, more floods going to be happening? How are we working with the private sector to ensure you have irrigation, you have proper drainage? In sugar, for example, you're planting climate-resistant cane or climate-resistant grass for cattle. So there are a number of things we have to do.
Now, while the DFC falls directly under the government's purse, Prime Minister John Briceño says it has come to a long way to move away from the perception of political interference and misfeasance within the organization.
The DFC have been serving Belizeans faithfully for the past 60 years. It's the only development, quote-unquote, bank that Belize has. And because of the DFC, you have had countless of entrepreneurs that have been able to finance their dreams. Thousands of Belizeans have managed to afford to be able to get a home. And because of the changes that they have made recently, amendments that were presented by the staff to my ministry, and then we in turn took it to Cabinet and to the National Assembly, we have also been able to refocus and to serve the small and the micro, small and medium enterprises, the MSMEs, and women and young people. So the DFC has been doing tremendous work and helping where it's most needed to those that have most difficulty in accessing the regular financial institutions of Belize. The Belize Development Corporation is quote-unquote owned by the government, and they need to work in tandem with the policies of the government of the day. But it is done in such a way that the government does not have a majority on the board. So they are there to be able to present, well, this is the direction of the government. But the days are long gone where a minister can send a note and give Paul one loan or give this one a loan. That does not happen anymore. And even if they were to attempt to do that, it plays no role in the decision-making of the loans. For instance, I've never sent any note, even from the first time when I was Deputy Prime Minister, to note any kind of notes to lend money to anybody. That has stopped. You do not have that kind of interference in the operations of the DFC, and that is why you're seeing that kind of growth and having a little bit of profits.
Part of today's anniversary celebration for the DFC included the awarding of current and past employees who dedicated many years of service to the organization. The Ministry of Health and Wellness knows the importance of having a healthy Belizean population. This is why it has partnered with PAHO to engage in what it has named a healthy lifestyle caravan. Today, the caravan was in Carmelita Village. Our news team was there, and Elmer Cornejo has that story.
The Pan American Health Organization is one of the greatest allies of the Ministry of Health and Wellness. Over the years, that healthy relationship has grown, and on September 16, 2023, both entities joined forces once more to carry out the Healthy Lifestyle Caravan. The idea is to increase healthcare services for Belizeans through this initiative. And with that in mind, the caravan will travel to all districts offering free medical services. Today, that caravan was in the village of Carmelita, and when we got there around 10 a.m., it was more than obvious that Norteños were ready to get a dental checkup, carry out a general consultation, or even win a prize.
Really, it's bringing out the services to communities that need it and communities that are really seeking the services and might not always have access to services readily available on a day-to-day basis. So we decided to bring that out here. We have screening, we have doctors and nurses, we have maternal and child health, we have HIV testing taking place. So really we're trying to cover all aspects of wellness. We have PAHO out here engaging young children with physical activity, and we have health education talks taking place while patients are waiting to see the doctor and nurse. Carmelita has a lot of health issues, I understand from the community profile, not just health issues, but looking at social issues as well, or other ways we could improve with hygiene, with personal upkeep of the community. All those things we look at when we decide on the community.
But how does the collaborative partnership that saw the birth of the Healthy Lifestyle Caravan measure success? That is what we asked Technical Advisor at the Ministry of Health and Wellness, Kathleen Cho.
We have a registration process taking place. While the persons are waiting, they're giving their names. We have a triage system in place, so we're getting numbers down, blood pressure, glucose checks. So we're screening those individuals in the triage section. We're also taking note of how many babies the nurses are seeing. We're taking note of all the other patients that are visiting the dental services, patients that are visiting HIV testing. And so at the end of that activity, we end up putting a report together to see what the reach was for that day. And of course, we measure, we do a little debriefing with our partner PAHO every week. So after every caravan, we do a debriefing to see what challenges we face, what improvements can be made, and that way we could improve at our next stop.
Right after our conversation with Cho, we headed over to the dentist, who had seen a number of patients since morning. Our first inquiry was finding out how one's dental health is affected by the consumption of marijuana, tobacco, and alcohol.
Whenever you start consuming alcohol, especially alcohol and marijuana, there is a decrease on your how your body reacts to certain diseases. Now, there is a plaque being formed. There is little hygiene in part of the people that are consuming tobacco or marijuana or alcohol, and it starts to build up. Then you create what we call gingivitis. That's a disease, and it tends to grow within time to a periodontal disease if it is not treated well. And then eventually, since tobacco, marijuana, or alcohol consumptions are products that can chemically change the structure of a cell inside your mouth, it could create cancer as well. So yeah, there is a possibility of that happening, no?
While others consider these events to be pure propaganda, for Little Miracle, it's not. She paid a visit to the dentist just in time.
In this particular patient, there was a big problem with cavity hygiene as well, and she is changing the milk teeth to permanent teeth. But right now it is in a position that we need to do certain procedures for us to bring her back a better smile, a very beautiful smile.
So what is the issue with her dental though?
There is a tooth that is being stuck in between the two permanents that are trying to come out, and it is pushing towards the lip. So yes, we need to remove it at the hospital. It will be happening tomorrow at the hospital.
And all those persons who need extraction, who are through consultation need extraction, will be happening tomorrow too?
Yes, we will do extractions for them. They just need to reach at the hospital, and we will be, as they come in, we will be doing the extractions for them.
While Miracle was all smiles, so was the team of PAHO, who were ecstatic to have been able to offer a helping hand to so many patients.
As part of our 120 years celebration, we have been implementing the Healthy Lifestyle Caravan in collaboration with the Ministry of Health. We have visited, this is our third stop. We are visiting every district countrywide. We have made a stop at Cotton Tree, we have made a stop at Crooked Tree, and today we're here at Carmelita Village. We have 5 more stops. We have Progreso coming up in Corozal. We have San Pedro, we have Kikaker, we have Santa Cruz in Sand Creek, and we have Barranco in Toledo later in November. So the initiatives in November, and we are doing different activities to promote health. We have different booths. Our booth here is providing information on NCD prevention, healthy eating, physical activity. We have the different booths distributed. We have a booth with games over there. We have our booth with prizes on the other side. And what people can do is they can get information from me. We have our talking sessions over there that they can get basic information. Also, they can get information from the different booths from the ministry, and by gathering that information, they can play the games, they can play the Jeopardy and win prizes. So that's why we're distributed, so that they can engage with the different booths and not with just 1 or 2, but for them to engage with all the booths here.
And you were also speaking about the importance of becoming or remaining hydrated, so you brought water.
It's a very hot day, and other events, they have been very hot. We have brought snacks, we have brought water, we have brought juices for people, for the members of the community participating, for the staff working today, because it's very hot and it's very important, especially with the weather we have in Belize. It's very important to stay hydrated. So we're promoting the use of water, drinking natural juices, nothing processed, nothing with sugar. So we are mostly promoting healthy snacks, healthy drinks today.
PAHO and the Ministry of Health and Wellness hope that through the caravan, the community of Carmelita and surrounding areas are more aware of the impacts that non-communicable diseases can have on our health, and that regular checkups with the doctor are important. Elmer Cornejo, CTV3 News.
The caravan will also be in Corozal on October 6, 2023, when the services will be taken to the village of Progreso. A young teacher who recently engaged in the career is tonight in a hospital in Chetumal, Quintana Roo after being diagnosed with autoimmune hemolytic anemia, which he has been battling since last year. During his admission at the hospital in Chetumal, Axel contracted a respiratory infection for which he is being treated at this very hour. Axel also has to deal with a kidney problem, and to deal with that issue, he's undergoing hemodialysis. Presently, his father and mother are accompanying him, but there is no telling when he will be out of the hospital, and in the meanwhile, the medical bill is mounting. The family already owes some $40,000 for the last 2 weeks. Axel has been admitted at the hospital. Through various fundraisers, the family is slowly collecting some funds to defray the bill, but it is not enough. Via Zoom today, we spoke with Axel's sister, who told us what his prognosis looks like.
Axel is a teacher at New Horizon SDA School at San Pedro. He is admitted at the Chetumal General Hospital. Right now, he is in critical condition and intensive care, and he's intubated because his blood was at 2% last 2 weeks. Axel has been battling an anemia hemolytica. since last year. And last week his blood reached 2%, so that's why he had to be intubated and he is in intensive care at this moment. We are having a tamales sale this Sunday, 1st October. We have been doing lots of funds because last week the amount was $40,000. $40,000, and well, right now it has gone up more. That doesn't include medication because there are some medication that we have been buying that cost $4,000. His medication. The $40,000 is only what we owe at the hospital at last week. We are not counting medication. That's why we are raising funds, accepting any kind of donation, so we can help my parents because my parents are there. My father is not working. He had to stop all kind of work because he has to be there with his son. So I'm the only sister that's in charge of raising all these funds and preparing food and doing whatever, so to try get the money we need.
Has Axel spoken to y'all in terms of how he feels through this process so far?
Before he gets to that stage, in the stage that he's right now, yes, he spoke to us. Axel is a 22-year-old young boy with so much dreams, and he always used to tell me, "I'm a warrior. I won't lose this battle."
Although Axel is taking therapy, he is not yet out of the woods. He is in need of O positive blood. Persons interested in donating blood for Axel can contact his sister for arrangements, since the blood donor would have to be in possession of a valid passport or permit, as the withdrawal of blood would have to be done at the hospital where Axel is admitted in Chetumal. Axel's family is also seeking financial assistance from the public.
I would like to ask the public to have him in his prayers because Axel is a young teacher with a lot of dreams. Every person that knows Axel knows how kind-hearted he was, how happy he always was. He always had a smile for everybody. And right now, he needs our praise. Our praise because God has the last word, and we have a lot of faith that he will come back with us, that he will continue his dreams, that he will continue teaching because that was his vocation, that's what he loved. And I just want to ask all the public to please have him in his prayers. He and my parents, because my parents are suffering a lot at this moment. They can contact me through my phone number, that is 604-7787. Or for any donation, we are giving my younger brother's account. It's Atlantic Bank by the name Javier Alfredo Rodriguez. It's 21-14-43-36-6. That's his Atlantic Bank account.
Okay.
If anybody can assist us with any kind of help, we will appreciate it. And my parents and I and all my brothers will be very, very thankful with you all.
Again, you can reach Axel's sister, Zaida Rodriguez, via telephone number 604-7787 for more information. For those wishing to make a direct deposit to assist in defraying the cost of the medical bill incurred so far, can do so by depositing their donation at Atlantic Bank account number 211-443-366 under the name of Javier Alfredo Rodriguez. The Belize Fisheries Department has sent out a release, and it has to do with the long-anticipated Queen Conch season we all love, especially for that Sunday ceviche. The season is currently closed, but that is about to change. Coming up on Sunday, October 1st, 2023, the conch season will officially be opened, and that means you can bet your conch soup will be lawful for consumption. However, it is important to remind the public that any conch meat in your possession before Sunday, October 1st, 2023 is in violation of the law. Anyone caught with conch during the closed season can face a fine and or prison term. And that's the news. We invite you to join us for another newscast on Thursday, September 28th here on CTV3 and Fiesta FM 106.7. Remember that to read a text version of the news, you can visit our website at CTV3BelizeNews.com. You can also log on to our Facebook page for current stories at Facebook.com/CTV3BelizeNews or our YouTube channel at CTV3 News BZ. Remember to wash your hands and remain safe from all of us here at CTV3 News. Thank you for watching and listening. Good night.